so envious, but still the Brahmavadi has to get there, to the point of accepting the Supreme Lord. Therefore, we are the followers of Srila Prabhupada, who is dealing with all forms of nirvishesh. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacharya Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschita Kesatarine. Srila Prabhupada preaching the instructions of Lord Chaitanya to eradicate all forms of impersonalism and voidism. So the distinction is there, but in our preaching, I guess, secondary. Should we enter, Janita, you just give me the signal, because fingers are coming up like anything.
Sundays, until 9.
Look at that. Okay, on the front row.
In the purple is talking about
Sayujana.
So we see that Jay and Vijaya there. So they have a personal relationship with the Lord, so we hear the pastime that they come down because the Lord wants to fight, but then we see that every time that they come down, Shishapal, Dantavakra, Ravan, Kumbhakarna, they merge back into the Lord. So how does one understand?
Well, you see, if you read the commentaries of Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur, then he says that was actually not really the fact. That they actually, it looked like that, but they got more than that. That they actually got like a personal promotion after all. Vishnu Chakravarti, Sarata Darsani, and Canto commentaries is writing there. No, it just sets the general standard that the demon cannot just expect to get anything and everything, and therefore, the demon will get to merge in the impersonal destination, highly undesirable. So better not be a demon and attack Krishna. But it is also said by Srila Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur that when Krishna is personally present, he gives some extra mercy. And therefore they all, after getting the impersonal liberation, they also got some extra mercy, and then they were promoted to a personal position also. Yes?
Marge, some time ago we had a discussion, and this point came up that this my life teaching, personal teaching, it can perhaps be used as a stepping stone to Krishna consciousness. There's certain common threads like karma, reincarnation, meditation. But then here we see it says my life yasumile hayasavanasha, everything is destroyed.
Yeah. It's certainly not our mission to use this kind of philosophy as a stepping stone. Krishna may use it as a stepping stone. That may be. Like in this day and age, we see that like a banned Buddhist leader from a particular country neighboring China has books in every bookstore of the world, right? And they're totally mainstream. Every housewife, every Joe Blow or whatever has read these books or heard something, and the leader of this particular philosophy is considered to be highly spiritually evolved. A lot of people then are now, even in the Western world, claiming to be Buddhists. Right? If you ask people, they'll tell you, "Oh yeah, I'm a Buddhist." Right? And lots of people. In England, I know there's lots of people who say we are Buddhists. Right? But the good part of it is they have no clue really what Buddhism is all about. It's just some sort of external, fashionable acceptance of that philosophy, so-called Buddhist, and some wishy-washy, hogwash arguments here and there, which they think is Buddhism. And we know it goes only skin deep. And then one sometimes thinks that, well, maybe that opens the grounds for one day Krishna consciousness to enter. Because it is true that before we were devotees, we could, in 1 week, we could show interest in spiritual leaders of all kinds of tradition. For example, I used to be involved in a center called the Cosmos in Amsterdam, which was very famous at that time as a place where all kinds of enlightened philosophy was available. So one night you could have a night with the Sufis, right? And the next night you could have someone from the Brahma Kumaris speak, and then there could be an evening with the Hare Krishnas, and it was all interesting. Right? And we didn't see so much difference. It was all spiritual. For a lot of people, it's kind of very difficult to figure out God. Where is He? Somewhere there. So in the process of that evolution, we sometimes see people leaning towards Mayavad, leaning towards Buddhism, and it could be part of an evolution of coming towards Krishna consciousness. But it's not our business to ever utilize impersonalist philosophy as a preaching strategy. And we see that Srila Prabhupada had no tolerance. You know the story of Kobe in Japan? Prabhupada went to Kobe in Japan, and in Kobe in Japan, the devotees had been cultivating this Indian man who was wealthy, businessman, who was speaking about giving a house for a temple. So, they were very excited about it, and everything was lined up. And Prabhupada was supposed to come to close the deal. Yeah? So then, there was a program planned for Prabhupada, and it happened to be so there was also some other Swami from India, some Mayavadi. And, then on the main stage in the program, there was a big Vyasa-san with a picture of the man's guru on there. He had his own guru, and then a smaller Vyasa-san for the guest speakers, for Prabhupada and the other speaker. That was the... So the devotee said, oh no, that can't be. Prabhupada is a Jagat Guru, he is very important, he has to sit on the big Vyasa-san. Okay? And then it was a big discussion, and finally the man said, all right, well then all should sit on the big Vyasa-san. So that was agreed, So then Prabhupada spoke, and sat on the big Vyasa-san, and then after the lecture it was the turn for the Mayavadi sannyasi to speak, and then the host came and acted sort of as an MC, and sort of, Prabhupada just finished the lecture and sat on the Vyasa-san and smiled. And he didn't come down. So then, the other Swami was sort of standing there, and Prabhupada smiled. But he didn't come down. So then the host was sort of gesturing Prabhupada to come down, and Prabhupada didn't come down. And the man just stood there, and the Swami just stood there. So finally, they put the other Swami on the small Vyasa-san. And Prabhupada was sitting there, and then the Mayavadi Swami was speaking in Hindi. And it went on for some 5 minutes, and Prabhupada tolerated it. And then suddenly Prabhupada says to the devotees, Kirtan, Kirtan, start Kirtan. And they all go, Hare Krishna. Drowning out that speaker. After the program, right? After the program, the organizer, is like his blood pressure, like the veins on his head were like popping out of his skull. He was like totally beyond himself, but he was afraid of Prabhupada. So he spoke to the devotees, and he said, how could your guru act in such a way? How could your guru act? But he couldn't speak to Prabhupada directly. And then Prabhupada later told the devotees, said, yes, the first 5 minutes it was all right. Whatever he said, it was just Bhagavad Gita.